Hey guys, we're back on Marlak, and it's actually the same day as the previous video. The release will definitely not be the same day, but this recording is. I happen to have like an hour to kill, and I found Calmethar on his level 20 Paladin in the event zone. I was just starting to run Sendrith over there, which now I'm thinking might not be the best idea, cause it's only going till Tuesday, so it's not gonna be there. This is not going to be here very long, unfortunately, this time. But it's great for Sendrith. He's at the right level to do the basement. But anyway, this Paladin is twinked out, and one of the really cool things he's got going on is the Ghoulbane. So I was not going to record a video. I thought about it and I said, nah. But then I realized how cool this was with the Paladin proccing the Ghoulbane, just watching the damage. It's just a huge nuke, and it procs fairly often, so it's nice to see. Also, another reason, see there's that nuke, boom, crushed him. Another reason I wanted to flip the camera on is because we're about to ding, we're at 98%, and we're about to hit level 18, which the most exciting thing about level 18 is that it is one level closer to level 19, basically. Now these guys are higher level, so I like to contribute some DPS to them with a dot, because they seem to last longer anyway, depending on how many Ghoulbane procs we get. I'm trying to keep my mana up, because Northgaard here does not yet have a box of Abukar. So if we get that pop, he's going to be a bit higher level, right? Or maybe not that much higher, maybe around the same level as these major Icebone skeletons. But he's going to be living, so the proc ain't going to be coming into effect. And I think he's hits harder. There's the ding. I think he hits harder, so we're going to want to be able to slow him and contribute DPS as well with a dot and maybe 2 dots. I'm going to get Sicken up, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Sicken, it's a small dot, but if you count up the ticks over a long fight, it does like 50 damage. So I'm all for using it. Even though it's only doing 2 damage per tick, I usually pull with it and get almost the full use out of it, which really makes it good mana efficient DPS. That's what I've been using when I solo. I don't know if you've noticed the last time you watched me solo, but I pull with Sicken because it lasts a long duration. That's the thing. It only does 2 damage per tick, but it lasts a long time, which is pretty typical of the disease dots. That's the primary difference between the disease line dots and the poison line dots. The poisons do a lot more damage, but it's kind of more bursty because they will wear off rather quick. So the disease dots, even though they're doing less damage per tick, you're actually getting better mana use if you can get the full use of the dot, if you can have it run its course. So that's one of the reasons I'm looking forward to soloing as a shaman, because only when you solo do you really get to take advantage of that dynamic there. So here we're doing some crowd control, we rooted the ad, and we're going to burn a little mana to help finish this guy off quick. Boom. I got my spell tracker up. Let me make sure the level is set correctly. It thinks I'm level 23, so let's bump that down to 18. Although I don't think it makes a difference for the spells that we've been using thus far. Perhaps it does on the dots, I'm not sure. There we go. After the next mana tick, I'm going to... Well, it looks like... Yeah, it looks like I don't want to dot this guy. I'm not going to get very many ticks out of it. Northgaard's kind of kicking his butt, so we're going to wait for a mana tick and then start the chain healing process. Boom. Another mana tick. Boom. Keep Northgaard up there, HP wise. So again, Northgaard is Calmethar. We met him early on the Ranger when we were around level 20 to 25, I think. I remember he met up with us. He talked to us. He sent us a tell. He's a super nice guy. You can just tell by everything he says and does. Super nice guy. And we haven't played together much at all, but he's always kind of been there since the early days, you know, saying hi, what's up, and me also saying hi, what's up. He's also the one who made the UI that you're looking at on my screen. Well, I don't know if he made it or he customized it at least, but I'm really enjoying it. I enjoy the bigger HP and mana bars. The only thing I'm missing... Oh, no, it's there. It's got the XP. Okay. Yeah, I remember the early edition didn't have a visible XP bar. And he's since tweaked it. He's even tweaked it to make it a little better since this last update that I'm using right now. But I'm happy with this one. He recently added the classic spell gems, and I like the way they look. I don't know. I'm used to them from P99, so I'm sticking with the classic spell gems. And I think this recent update was just something that helped with melee. Although I remember thinking I would like it as well, so I might get it. The problem is the recent update doesn't have the classic spell gems, but they're in an extras folder. So if I just take a few minutes to figure out how to activate them, put them in the right spot so they're used by the software, I can have the classic gems again. But that's probably what's stopping me from downloading the latest update, because it requires a little bit of extra footwork. And I'm just happy with how it is right now. Like, if all it is install and extract it to the file, then I just do it like right away. But knowing that I would lose my classic spell gems until I did that little extra, probably like seriously like a minute or less of work. But you know how it is. I'm satisfied for now. That guy looked like he was gonna add on, so we just rooted him right away. We're already 5% in. It's really crazy. It's crazy how good the XP is here. We are inside. I'll try to... I'm still used to playing in first person as well, but I will try to keep the camera zoomed out a bit. I think it's nicer for an observer to see the character that they're watching, right? So Root hasn't broken. He wanted to pull him back. But looks like what I noticed about the skeletons in this tower is anything will aggro on you if you get close enough. However, nothing aggroes very far. Their aggro radius is pretty, it's kind of not that big. You can see how close they are. Although I think to Northgaard, that lesser Icebone is probably a light blue. But I don't even know if there's any scaling of the aggro radius based on, you know, con level. I almost feel like it's the same for all. I feel like they all they all kind of don't con at a pretty good radius. They also, for those who don't know, who it seems like I was surprised how many people didn't know, even among my friends. I think Northgaard didn't know at the beginning of the session. The mobs are leashed. So if you get... The cool thing about these event zones is if you get in trouble, or if you want to get to a camp that's through a bunch of mobs, you just run. You just run. And once you get to a certain distance, those mobs will vanish. I've seen them run back, but usually they'll literally just snap, like it disappear and snap back to their spawn. So that's good. Makes it easy to escape and survive. It also makes it easy, like, to get to a camp that's through a bunch of spawns. And it just makes it easier for people to navigate the zone. And less trains for people at the entrance, for example, or even people throughout the entire zone. So unfortunately we're getting a lot of low-level spawns right now. But this one seems to consistently be a major Icebone skeleton. Now solo, this would be too much for me. solo, I was killing Icebone skeletons. And they were tough, actually. They took a lot out of me. To the point where I'd almost rather do lesser Icebone skeletons, but I found that the spawns jumped. Like, there was a camp on the second floor, and when I went up to the next floor, I was seeing Icebone skeletons. Like, there was no real lesser Icebone area. So I had to solo them. They were given 3% per kill, though. But it was not easy kill, if you know what I mean. This guy's putting up quite the fight. I think we'll throw in a nuke. And we'll hope for some procs. Mana's getting a little low, and like I said, we're trying to keep up the mana because we want to be able to kill the named when he finally spawns, if he spawns. I can't believe how long it's been. When I was here with a group grinding earlier, we got like 3 of them, and it was all in like the matter of like 15 minutes. So we know how RNG can be, but still I feel like we shouldn't go and play poker tonight, apparently, because this is ridiculous. How am I so heavy? Let me see, what do I have that's making me so heavy? Oh, some stuff ended up in this bag, like the staff. That's probably it. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I'm trying to keep myself above 70% mana. That'll allow me to slow and double dot the mob, and should leave me some mana to heal if need be. Or if I get a resist, to recast any of those 3 spells. So we see Northgaard casting Yelp. Paladins, and they're yelping. Clerics too. Add a little extra strength. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Meditate does an extra point of mana regen per tick every 12 level ups. So if I am right, that's something to keep in mind. I mean, it's not really going to be change very much for you, but it's something to keep in mind. If you're interested, wondering when it's going to meditate actually helps. So meditate's going to go to 90 from 90 to 95 at this level, right? So 12 times 8 is 96. So it won't have any effect on my mana regen this time, but my next level, when meditate ticks to 96, I'll be getting 1 extra point of mana per server tick while I'm meditating. So it's almost like there's some key levels. What is it, every 2.5 levels? Less than 2.5. You get an extra mana tick due to meditate. Oh, looks like we're adding this guy on here. Let's root him. I thought I rooted myself. I accidentally opened a dialogue. That's what actually happened. Nice. That proc was key. I shouldn't have even dotted. He's trying to cast his nukes too at the same time. We're just gonna keep Mr. Icebone here rooted. 10 seconds on the root. When it gets to about 4, we will recast it. And hope it lands. Looks like we're getting full use of the dot this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ticks at 8 damage per tick. 6 times 8 is 48. Plus the 10 when it initially lands. So we got 58 points of damage out of that dot. That's pretty good. Pretty good mana. Because our Tainted Breath costs 40 mana. Our Spirit Strike does 77 damage for 75 mana. So if we get at least 50 out of the dot, it seems slightly more mana efficient than the Spirit Strike. And I think if it runs its course, it does about 60. Much more mana efficient than the Spirit Strike. The problem is, this Paladin's sword could proc, you know, like a bunch of times. In a fight. And if it does so, we're not getting the efficiency out of the dot because he's killing the mob too fast. You know? So it's probably best not to use the dots, but I'm thinking, I think if it's just an average number of procs, the major Icebone skeletons last long enough for it to be worth it. So I'm just throwing that dot on there. And then, otherwise, I'm just using my nuke. Or if he pulls the skeleton, like a major Icebone like this, see, it's right sitting at 91. I'll hit it with a dot. As it was getting close there, I try to hit it as soon as possible. But if I see a proc before the dot lands, I cancel the dot. He is kicking this one's butt this time. He's just landing big hits. There was no procs. He's just landing big hits. Here's some other guy comes to check it out. Our little room here. He doesn't seem to care that we're already here. He's wondering. He's probably looking for the box is what he's doing. He's looking for that name spawn. He's gonna come and take it. So let's see how many ticks we got this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 ticks. Maybe 8. Yeah, 8 ticks. 8 times 8 is 64. Plus the 10 when it lands, 74. So we did as much damage as our nuke for only slightly more than half the price. So definitely worth it to be using this dot. But when we do use it, we don't want to nuke. Which is where it gets interesting because we're starting to flirt with full mana here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw myself a Dexterous Aura. And I'm going to see if I can't do some extra melee DPS. Apparently, Calmethar says, Paladin reses are in. So he can get the first 0% res at level 22. That seems super early, if you ask me. There we go, let's dot this guy. Med up. That seems super early for a hybrid class to get such an important spell that early. It's almost too early, because the cleric, I think he's only resing for like 10% at that level already. Like, the cleric's res should be much better than the paladin's. But, you know, I'm not going to complain that paladins can res too. I'm not trying to, you know, monopolize on it. So I am dreaming of a hardcore self-found solo paladin. That's my dream right now. This guy is just gonna go for this mob here. I guess they're gonna take it off of us. Interesting. Like, we've been here for a while, dudes. It's not on the PK. It's not on the P99 list. Only on the TKP one. So I should go check out the TAKP website because I'm curious about the cleric reses. I forget. They don't tell you how much percent they're doing. So until you cast it, you don't know. And I've seen Ulysses cast some at certain levels, but I just can't remember. I'm so used to P99. Shouldn't even have a res yet. Again, not complaining. I remember back in the day, and I remember on TLP having the reses was cool. So there's our nuke for 78 that time. I don't know. I thought it was 77 max. I don't know what changed. Here we are crushing it. Lots of cracked staffs. Really nice for us since we're self-found. I always want to say solo self-found. Just rolls off the tongue so nicely. We got other people here. Let's see what they say. Kind of camp in this room, guy says. Northgaard, room for one more. Fast respawns, and we've been here and 3 groups moved in on us, lol. None right now. I don't think either of us can full clear this. I'll try to keep the sides. Okay, it's getting a little dicey. Getting dicey. Earlier, Wolfdar killed a name and had a box for me. I went to wait to loot it. He didn't announce. Ended up with 3 vultures trying to steal it. Luckily, I clicked the fastest. I even said, "Hey, this is my friend's kill. Please be considerate." They just laughed. Everyone's so principled about etiquette until there's a situation where they can profit, and they are like animals, it seems. That's probably the thing that irks me the most about all the virtue signaling and the moral grandstanding. It's like people should realize, should be humble and take a look at themselves and realize, like I would behave. There's a good chance I'd be behaving the same way as this person I'm criticizing if I were in their position. I might be worse even. And we see it all the time. Oh, I forgot. Full mana. I should have just nuked, but I'll just get in there and have some melee fun. Moral virtue signaling is just another form of self-indulgence. It's a form of masturbation. It feels good to rub that, you know. For most. I think that's why when you get older, you just get a lot more quiet. You just learn to keep your mouth shut more often. All is vanity. Isn't that what it says? And it's one of my, I think that might be my favorite part of the Bible. I don't even remember what book it's in. It's all is vanity. It sums up like a whole chapter. It goes on. It says a lot more than just that. Well, I was going to dot him, but it's looking like this is a nuke situation. The Paladin is just kicking his butt. We're already 18% in. This is ridiculous. But we're also getting close to time for logging off and playing Xbox with my friend Ron. And the funny thing was, like, after I looted that box, I 3 minutes later got a group, went up to that group. 5 minutes into the group, they got a box drop. No, everybody there already had the box. And literally 7 minutes after that, we got another named kill, another box drop. And I think one even rotted. Like, maybe I just didn't see it getting picked up. That's probably what really happened. But they're just dropping like, they were dropping like crazy at the time. I haven't seen one yet, which is just surprising me here. But yeah, they're common enough to where you don't gotta be a dick just so you can get yours right now. Kind of like trying to weasel it away from somebody, you know? It also reminds me of that scene with the Joker where he's talking to Two-Face in the hospital bed. It's like all these people, when the shit's hits the fan, they'll turn on you. It doesn't even have to hit the fan that hard. I was surprised I got that box, because you know how my connection is, guys. You know? I was like, I'm screwed. These guys are going to have better connection. They must be conning the corpse as I am, right? They know that it's available at the 4-minute mark. So I wonder if they were just teasing and they actually just let me loot it. That's what I think might happen. That's almost worse. Pretend like you're going to try to steal it and then not steal it. I'd almost prefer I'd prefer an honest thief, I think, than a mocking joker. Said the joker to the thief, there's too much confusion, I can't get no relief. But you and I, we've been through that, and this is not our fate. So let us not talk falsely now, the hour's getting late. Well, guys, we got a ding. Level 18. We're making serious progress to 19. We are excited about 19. Yes, you are as well. I am and you are. We are. Can't get out of that. I do decree. We are excited about that. These ice bones, blue or light blue for you? So 50-50 on the ice bones. So we want to get as many major Icebone skeletons as we can, because those are the ones... Well, see, I just canceled the dot. When I saw that nuke land, it took like 35 to 40% of the mob's HP. So the dot's not going to run. We want to cherry pick as many of the majors as we can, because they're solidly dark blue for Northgaard at level 20. Whoa, look at how he schooled that one, dude. That was ridiculous. Whereas the Icebones, while they're dark blue to us, half of them are light blue to him. And we don't want him stuck with, you know, light blueness going on. That sucks, especially when you're carrying a friend. And he is carrying me, make no doubt about it. He hardly needs my heals or my DPS. So he's got an ad. And we are going to root. There we go. Don't really need to. He could easily tank them both. But why not mitigate that damage? Also allow him to cast more if he decides to cast. Because we know how hard it is to cast when you're getting interrupted. Whoa, we got another one now. Alright, we'll let him take that one, and we'll get ready to reroute this guy here. Actually, we're just going to tank him, because he's a light blue to us. He's probably green to our friend. So he's not going to hurt us that much. And we will help him finish off this Icebone. Oh, nice. Landed a proc. Was that a nuke and a proc? That's what it looked like. It looked like he casted a nuke, and then immediately after the nuke, you know, like when you... You know, like if your cast is longer than the delay between your weapon, like as soon as it finishes casting, it'll also do a hit. So it seemed like, it looked to me like he double nuked, but he didn't know. I guess it was just the proc. He says his evocation's still too low, so he's fizzling a lot, so he's avoiding even trying to nuke. But he's gonna have to practice sometime, he says. Got a little group in there. Oh, were they there before? They might have been there before. I feel bad if we stole their mobs. But maybe they're lower, so maybe they're happy that we took the majors? I don't know. I'm gonna ask. Oops, didn't realize those guys were in there. Did we steal those majors from them? Maybe they are too low for the majors anyways, though. So I tried to crank my sound up a little bit. My mic, before was at 0 decibels. Now it's at 2.4 decibel like boost. My friend Throbit was telling me that my sound was too low relative. Oh, he's on right now. Hey, Throb. How's the sound? You see the most recent video? I boosted a little bit, but don't know if I need more or not. Yeah, I don't want him to have trouble. He's one of the few people I know are actually watching these videos, so Throbit, I'm happy to adjust the sound for you. Anyone else can turn their volume down if it gets too loud, right? But you have to. I want to equalize with your other app, so don't hesitate to let me know if I'm still a bit quiet in comparison to Classics videos and it's still not balancing well with your map software when you're driving. Because I'm pretty sure if you're having that issue, it's something, even if other people aren't saying anything or they hardly notice it, it's probably still there for other viewers as well. Oh, is this some power leveling? Oh. Oh, PLing. There's a 13 Ranger being power leveled, it appear. See, now we got a whole bunch of ice bones, which is no fun for our friend here. Thanks for having me along. You don't really need me, lol. He is carrying us right now. That Rubi BP and him being so tanky, not taking much damage, and also the level of these mobs. A good deal of the mobs are just barely dark blue, sometimes light blue. So all those things together make for a paladin that doesn't really need a healer. And then, does he need the DPS? If he didn't have Ghoulbane, I would be helping with that quite a bit. I'd be dotting everything and helping make the kills faster, and he'd probably be grateful. But he's got Ghoulbane, so he's landing these huge procs. He doesn't need my DPS either. I mean, but I guess maybe it helps because I have the dex buff, which should increase the number of times that Ghoulbane does proc. I'm surprised I have this much to say. I usually don't. I usually don't. Oh, there's a proc. See, I got full mana now, so I should nuke, but I don't want to waste the dot that I put on. You know what I mean? So I don't want to nuke. So I'm just going to come over and melee him, and then I'll nuke the next one. Alright, we're gonna rip this one apart. I'll hit him with a nuke. I think I can get the aggro a little bit. Let the Paladin hit him from behind. There we go. Give him the old slam. Now I wonder if, tell me if you know, the slam that shamans get. I know it's good for interrupting spells, but does it actually does it delay attacks as well? Is it worth using it on melee mobs? Is what I'm getting at, basically. If you know, either way, please feel free to comment and let me know, because I'd like to know, you know? Yeah, I'm not like, I don't consume much content. I think I said this in my last video. So I don't have much like EQ related stuff to talk about. I'm not like plugged into that world as much as I kind of would like to be. Obviously, not really would like to be, or else I would be. I've been meaning to watch the Drama Quest series that Classic says is really great. But the thing is, I spend most of my free time watching poker. That's the thing. Just gotta be honest. I love watching Texas Hold'em poker. It's like I play every week, or like every other week. Probably like 3 times a month, let's say. With a group of friends here in China. And yeah, it's just my mind really opened to the game when I was taking a statistics class a couple of years ago. I was finishing up my undergrad online at the University of Illinois, Springfield, and in philosophy. But you know, you got your general ed classes, so I was taking a statistics class, and it was a really cool class. I remember it very fondly. It was super tough, but the teacher laid out everything so clearly, so if you just took your time and you went step by step through the rules, you would figure it out. And everything was in Excel sheets and plugged in and mathematically calculated perfectly out, so... And the route was clearly explained for anybody. Anyway, he started to use, you know, talking about probabilities and whatnot, he started to talk about playing cards. It's a pretty common analogy base, and something about, because I really kind of understood a lot more from that class, and something about the stuff he was saying like really clicked, and I realized, wow, this is actually a very beautiful game. Let's get rid of this guy pronto. Oh, my nuke and then his proc landed like boom. That guy just was done. Alright, he's getting a little low on HP. We're getting a little low on mana. We're gonna go into our little candy dance healing thing here. Crank him up, and then we're gonna take a nice med session. Let him keep fighting, but we will not be contributing much. So anyway, this video is getting longer. I'm gonna pause it, and if we get a named where we can get a box for a Northgaard, I will unpause at that point. You know, I might be wrong. This might not be Calmethar. I could have sworn it was Calmethar. This might be Turpentine. I get my alts mixed up sometimes. So, whoever it is, excuse me. I'm sure they understand. If it is Turpentine, tisk tisk. You're supposed to be leveling Kilowat, man. Tisk tisk. I think it is Calmethar, though. But he said he has a dex cloak on the Ranger. That's what makes me think it's Turpentine, actually. Because I know Ranger's got his... I know Turpentine's got his Ranger Pandrax, and I can't remember Calmethar having a Ranger as well. Oh, Dwigger! Yes, he does, Dwigger, of course. I saw him in the Gator Alley just recently, where Marrow is right now. And he's at 98% into level 38, almost 39 with the new spells. And I'm just waiting for a good time to make that video where he dings and I blab on about him and his future and whatnot. While I kill a few crocs. That's coming soon. But I'm waiting for a good playtime earlier in the evening so that Gator Alley should be pretty clear, because it's often pretty camped. Might be a good time to go there now with the event zone open, because I think a lot of people are probably jumping over here in the event zone. This one's probably green to Northgaard, light blue to me. Anyway, back to pause. Hopefully I'm unpausing for a named, but I really am going to quit in a minute here. Alright guys, well, we never did get a name to pop. So no box yet for Northgaard, which is unfortunate and I believe unlucky. Perhaps the names had already popped somewhere that he wasn't being killed. That's my theory. I think there's 3 different names that are popping and dropping the boxes, so maybe 2 or even all 3 of them were popped in a spot where nobody was, maybe somewhere in the basement or something. So they weren't being killed, so they weren't being released to be able to spawn anywhere else. Maybe that's what was happening, but we got great XP. That XP was flying off the chain. So we dinged and we're already 40% in. So I'm really excited, and I'm really thinking that come time for the next... this guy probably wants a sow. Come time for the next solo self-found group, we will be 19. And we'll have our new heal, new dot, a couple other spells. So that should be good. It should be rocking. So I will see you guys then. Have a good one.